just to be clear, you can't.
On today's DNVR Nuggets podcast, we have some hangover takes. We're going to talk about Jokic's career highs. Has he set all of them, or will he break them, a few more of them? We're going to have a checklist for things we're looking for coming up. And then there's a big game in the association tonight I thought it'd be fun for us to talk about. I don't know if you even know what it is. Very exciting one. This is DNVR Nuggets. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, doctor.
We're on another win streak, guys. We're on another win streak.
No, we're on a win. We're on a win.
It counts, kind of.
No, we're not.
All right, well, we can go streaking here in a few days. So let's get this. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Let's go. Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're also hanging out here in the very comfortable, very roomy, very 5-star safety rated Toyota Lounge. Driven by Front Range Toyota Store. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR.
If I can say, it also has a feeling of luxury and affordability. I don't know how to square those two.
You know what the highlight
These couches definitely affordable right now.
Yeah. These couches not actually.
If you want it, don't want to be associated with this thing off.
Nah, it's pretty great. Great show. You guys saw the topics. I got Brennan Vogt in the house.
What's up, gang? Always better to be here after a nice win over a 500 team. What a treat. Don't mind if I do. Over 500. Over 500.
Doesn't happen very often. It happened last night. We're feeling good. Did you see Pacers fans very mad at their team?
I saw that. Yeah.
They're like, how do we lose to these scrubs?
Well, I mean, they should have just watched the Lakers game.
That's true.
It's that easy, man.
D-Line Co. is in the house.
They're really mad at their guys for that. That was the second night of a back-to-back. They
It's
just
how
got worn down.
fan base is the same fan base. You lose a game, sky's falling.
Well, also,
They're so over.
I will tell you, if they attempt to play a fast-paced game against the Denver Nuggets, they are over because
That's our strength.
we have Nikola Jokic, who's a 5-star quarterback. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
More of a tight end, if you ask me.
What? It's crazy the number of outlet passes thrown in that game. That had to be an NBA record. We got to look that up.
We should look it up. Stats, get on that. And then wrapping out the show, last but definitely not least, Harrison Wood.
I'm just looking at the Nuggets' recent games here. Did you know they're 9-1 in their last 10?
10-1 in their last 11.
I did know that, yeah.
Even better
That's
if you want to
pretty
extend
good.
it there. It is pretty good. Nuggets got the win last night. We talked about it on this very show, but Vogt, you weren't here. So we'll allow you to start up the hangover, Kale. Start our hangover takes. I actually got to rewatch this game right just upstairs, so it's fresh on my mind. But do you want to go ahead and share your perspective?
And I'll tell you if it's wrong or not.
I did. Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah. I wrote about it. It's all good.
No pressure.
The juxtaposition, I think, of the Lakers and the Pacers game within the, like, looking at the turnovers, I think there's something to look at there. Transition defense is part of this equation when we say the Nuggets need to stop turning it over. Now, obviously, all the sort of careless turnovers and everyone that feels avoidable, they all hurt. But high usage playmakers are going to turn it over, right? So it's one thing to turn it over. How's your transition defense? And points off turnovers was the killer in that Lakers game. Now, they turned it over a lot. They also didn't even bother. They put their heads down after failing to score or turning it over. And it was just so easy going the other way. When you work a little harder, you can survive those. They did turn it over in Indy, and it almost hurt them.
20 of them.
You know, if they had been even, I think, as porous as they were in transition defense against the Lakers, maybe that game goes differently. So, as always with Denver, I think all this stuff, it all comes back to defense, half court, transition, however you want to look at it. They're a strong contender on one side of the ball, and on the other, they're not. And that's how I look at them so far.
42 turnovers in the last 2 games, 56 since the All-Star break, and the 3 games since the All-Star break. Definitely a storyline. We're going to talk about the turnovers, here in a little bit. Didn't sink them last night, but the really reason the game was close really because of turnovers.
Right.
Like Denver had if we remember this going to the fourth, a 17-point lead, and it was a pretty clunky turnover-prone, stretch two of them that really got Pacers back into the game. So I'm with you. Turnovers are a real concern for the Nuggets.
My thing is like the turnovers over the last 2 games. Russell Westbrook is a large factor in this.
Even though he doesn't have like an absurd amount of them, I do feel like he's involved.
He kind of creates the environment from which these things spread. He sort of like is a fertile turnover soil.
Yeah, lots of iron.
But then the Nuggets, like last night, it got
Magnesium. Sorry.
last night got like so sloppy. It was just a sloppy, goofy, weird game. Like there was like no playoff intensity.
Yeah,
And
weirdly, right? That was one thing we kept thinking we would get.
we haven't gotten that yet from the Nuggets. Like they didn't
From
bring
the
it.
Nuggets, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't bring it against the Lakers, and they didn't have to bring it last night. But
Will we ever get it? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. This is Remind 'em week, and again, do we have to remind M? Who is M?
Yeah.
I can't figure. It keeps changing. It was us for a little bit, and then it's the league. Now we have to remind the Nuggets to play defense.
I did, though, however, I still think this was a very good game for the Nuggets. Like, we're almost treating it like it was a loss. It is a concern.
No.
But they did a lot of things really well yesterday, and the confidence was there. Like, you get your butt whooped the night before, there is like, okay, everybody's a little nervous. That wasn't the case. You
Yeah.
go back and watch it. It was a loose game.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I mean, as is usually the case, things are way more steady inside the walls of
Yeah.
a team than they are outside of it. You
Yeah,
know, the sky is falling for us after the Lakers game. For a lot of people, it was a bad loss, no doubt. Like, it was a terrible loss. Like, they got killed. But, you wake up the next day and you go play another game and you're like, oh, yeah, we're the Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic again.
Yeah, my thing was like with the Lakers game, they were just so set on trying to do what they wanted to do that it was like they were getting turnovers, just like making sure to get the ball to Jokic. Like it was just so. Then they were like, okay, there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Somebody's got to fire. They just refused to pivot in what they were doing, and so that caused a lot of turnovers. This last game, like I think I'm disputing the idea that this is an endemic problem with the Denver Nuggets. I think it's just sort of like the last 2 games in different ways, sort of
Could be.
made one was loose and the other was like immovable or immoving in their strategy.
But my point is, with Denver's offense, like a little bit of hustle on transition defense can go a long way. Like
For
you can
sure.
survive some of these higher turnover games. Now you don't want to get up in the 20s ever, but look, I mean, Jokic and Russ are going to try stuff. They're going to turn it over, but you got to, it can't be just automatic 2 points going the other way. And I thought in the Lakers game that was part of what was so frustrating. And that's why even when it was still a competitive game, there was that 10-point margin because of this stuff we're talking about that they were just never able to close. And in Indy, it did get sloppy, but I thought they played a little harder after their mistakes. And obviously the Lakers just played a great game too.
Yeah.
Also Lakers.
My hangover take from the game, and again, getting to just freshly rewatch it, so it's fresh on my mind. They really are allowing Christian Brown to do stuff.
Yeah.
And,
They are.
Aaron Gordon has been initiating the offense a lot. Obviously, you have Westbrook and you have Jokic. Pickett, obviously, in the short stint he was in. They're allowing other guys to sort of handle the ball or be the trigger on offense. I mean, Jokic's the fulcrum, but they can initiate, run the 2-man action. And last night, Christian was like, there were a lot of pick and rolls where he was the ball handler. And not out of like, oh, he just happens to get a late shot clock, got to do something. It was like, no, he dribbles up the court. It's him and Jokic start the action. And to me, obviously he has grown into this. But if you think even last year at KCP's 2-man game with Jokic really was just when he was in the corner and they ran the little pin down, he would either curl around and hit the mid-range or just keep it moving. It wasn't that dynamic. And as I'm watching Christian, I think it's just that he has earned this. I don't think this was like Michael Malone's plan coming into the year. I think he has been such a dynamic downhill driver that it's like, how you can get him downhill in transition, of course, but also just running 2-man game with Jokic because, you can put pressure. And they really went to that a lot last night in a way that for this year, it's very interesting because you get in the playoffs and the team is doing what Minnesota did last year, really getting into Jamal. I'm starting to think, like, could you run 2-man action with Christian and Jokic as like a release for that? I think Denver's trying to build towards it. Whether it happens this year or not, I think Christian Brown, when you project forward about what he can be for the Nuggets long-term in that spot, defensively, we think he can be really good there. But offensively, he might be what you need for a Jokic offense, which is a second pick-and-roll partner in the offense. I really believe that. You kind of laugh, Harrison.
No, I'm laughing at the news that just came across.
What was the news?
Anthony Davis something.
Is he hurt?
Not playing tonight?
Well, he's been. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
he's
how is
hurt,
that news?
yeah.
No, it was something
Is
else.
Wemby out
though.
too?
No, it was something
You know,
else.
before the game, Malone talked, or maybe after the last game, can't remember now. Malone spoke about how they're not getting to the line as much as they were to start the year, and how they need to start getting to the rim more. And some of that is like, who's your best option at doing that in the starting lineup?
I know, it's
is
all-
it Christian Brown?
He might be.
It might be. So maybe that was a bit intentional too. Of like, let's just get some pressure at the rim.
Yeah.
And even curl around to DHO and then just finish the cut, and Jokic will make that pass every time.
It is.
Or cut and seal, and Jokic will
But the
do
ball
that.
in his hand is the part I'm talking about, because we knew he could cut, but now it's he can drive. It's
Right,
like you
right,
get him
right.
at the right point. I kind of feel good right now. Christian Brown turning the corner, defense went over the screen, and now he has a lane at the rim with a challenger there, the help side challenger.
Right.
I like it. I'm like, I'll take my chances here because he's going to go through him, and he's finishing through contact really well.
They don't drive much. Even when they were getting to the rim to start the year, a lot of that was transition and cutting, right? Just guys going full speed. But yeah, they don't actually drive a lot. So maybe Christian is their best bet right now of turning that up.
Isn't that funny? They're like, man, our free throws are down, but our turnovers are up. And it's like, yeah, it's Russell Westbrook. Like, he's getting the fouls because he's charging into the lane. So free throws are down and the turnovers are up. And it's like, yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
the news I saw was Anthony Davis will not play, but the Lakers are paying homage to AD with an emotional video tribute.
Well,
Are
all
they
right.
playing in? I thought they were playing in Dallas.
in
They
LA?
play
No, the Dallas
Oh.
one's later on.
Hey, boy.
But another thing I think about with this development with Christian Brown, Harrison, is I think Peyton Watson has these chops as well. He's not as great of a finisher as Christian is. He's not as strong, but he's a better passer. And he has a pretty good mid-range jumper. Like, of all of his jump shots, the mid-range pull-up is kind of his best one. And it's taken 3 years. Like, Christian Brown has earned this threefold, the ability to spread his wings. Peyton Watson maybe hasn't. But at the same time, if you look at the final form of Denver, having multiple guys that can run pick and roll to me is the best you can do. Like, look at Boston. They have all these guys that can dribble drive. They don't necessarily run the pick and roll as much, but dribble drive. That's why they're so dynamic. With Denver, if you could tell me in a year's time, Peyton, Westbrook, Jokic, and Christian Brown all are trustworthy partners for the two-man game, I'd be like, that's the best version of Denver.
And I think going back to last year, there were a lot of reasons why they lost to Minnesota in the second round. They were more like one or two dimensional, I feel like, than they are right now.
I
It
agree.
was
I would
really
agree with
just Yoke and then Murray and Yoke.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of branched off of that. I feel like there's been an emphasis to what you talked about. And again, this is so funny when you compare it to what happened in that Laker game where they just spent the entire game trying to force the ball to Yoke.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. But this year, to your point about Christian Brown and opening up some more things to him, I agree. I think Peyton Watson has that in his bag too. Although maybe we would be seeing it right now if it wasn't for the injury. Aaron Gordon, I think initiating more and some of those really high assist games were a result of this. But there's more optionality, I think, with the Nuggets in their offense this year compared to last year. They're a little more dangerous offensively, I believe, just with their personnel and like Christian Brown and his skill set of being able to just attack and get to the rim, something like KCP couldn't do. They're just a little more versatile, I feel like, offensively than they were last year. They have more options to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's dynamic for Denver in a way that's kind of important. Another takeaway I have is Jokic in the last two games, 0 of 2 from 3. The game before that, 6 of 14. Trying to figure out the rhyme or reason to Jokic's three-point shooting right now seems a little...
Here's the thing. You guys will say he never tells us a lie. One thing he lies about all the time is he'll say, I did not have a concerted approach going into this game. I was just playing how they... You go, brother, I was open. Dude, you're open all the time. You shot 14 threes in that one game. That was definitely about something. I don't know. Sometimes I just think he does make some... like.
So you think it was a meaningful choice that he'd choose? Maybe he's viewed that Charlotte game as a practice game.
Kind of, yeah. He's going to say he just played it as it came, and maybe that's true, but I just think, dude, you got 14 threes up and 9 in the first, 8 minutes. When do you do that? So there was a little bit of I thought maybe he was just getting them up in that game, and if we can hit all of these, we can get through this one without necessarily grinding, and then more serious games to come.
It is funny how many people freaked out about it, though, D-Line. He's taking too many threes. I don't want him falling in love. And then the next two games, he didn't take hardly any.
Well, it's funny, when the Nuggets meet the Lakers again, I imagine he'll shoot a bunch of threes and bring two guys out, and then
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? It's I'm with Vogt. I do think that they are, the uncertain nights, and you've brought this up before, like shooting a bunch of threes, like that's going to be key in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's going to be important for them to.
Except for I thought he would have kept. My theory was he's going to start shooting more.
Well, I mean,
but he only did it the one game.
I mean, the man can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants,
This
but
is
it's just
not a critique. It's an exploration.
of why people should be angry about the.
No. It's exploration. Just trying to
Trying to understand the mind of Jokic.
Yeah, trying to get inside the mind of
Well,
Jokic.
I think that it's just like depends on the game. Like, I know I'm going to be open, so I'm going to bomb some threes tonight. I know I'm going to try to, like, I really want to get some paint work done, and I've got a guy here that I can barbecue. So
I think it's pretty random. Like, I just think if he's open, like the first possession of a game against Charlotte, and he shoots a three, he's probably just going to keep shooting threes. The Lakers, obviously, it was a totally different game.
Yeah, that one was
I
understandable.
honestly feel like it can tilt just based on what happens at the very beginning of a game.
All right. Well,
That's my take on it. I really do think he goes into these games with really just a blank slate.
yeah.
But that's something I'll watch for.
Yeah, I'll bet he takes a lot tomorrow, Wednesday night when they play the Bucks, because he seems to always do that when they play the Bucks. But we'll find out. Let's take a break. On the other side, Jokic did set a career high last night, 19 assists. What other career highs are going to fall this year and in the years to come?
total points.
Man, those Bucks games are always fun, huh? Always fun. They'll leave you sweaty. They'll leave you feeling like you need to freshen up.
Especially my Grundle.
I was going to say, guys, I actually am sporting a little Mando today. Not
Are
the
you?
Grundle, not the
No,
Grundle.
tell us where. Tell us where.
The Munder?
I got a little bit on my in brown tent, if you know what I mean.
All right. You should just said Grundle. Should have just said Grundle.
Oh, that's what I call my upper shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Eric's talking about Mando, a men's deodorant brand, hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. Every aspect.
Brown
Just
time.
ask Eric. Mando overtly calls out more colorful parts of men's bodies, grundles, munders, and more. Their scents are geared towards men with options like bourbon, leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. I know whenever
Mount
I
Fuji?
just put... I just know... Hey, it smells like Mount Fuji in here. And that must be because someone's
wearing
wearing
Mount Fuji today?
Someone's wearing Mando. That's why they're wearing Mando. Shout out Mando's starter pack. It's perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. Use code DNVR at shopmando.com. That's shopmando, MANDO.com. Support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Also, shout out to our friends at Bet365, an official partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. You can use that QR code right there on the screen and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Download the app. Bet along with us every Nuggets pregame show.
Yep.
We have this guy who sits in this chair. His name is Superstar Dev. He hands out winners. You can get in on the fun with Bet365. They have an early payout offer as well. If your team goes up by 20 points, you win on straight bets and parlay selections. Boom, right there.
Done.
20 points. Done. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLE.
Think how nice it would have been last night if you had bet on the Oklahoma City Thunder to win the game. They went up by 20. They went up by 24.
You would have won, yeah.
In the fourth quarter, and they lost. But you won.
That was an
There you
interesting
go.
game. Maybe
you
we'll
can
get-
only win that way with Bet365.
Only with Bet365.
Maybe we'll get to that game here on Around the Association later on. So Jokic gets a career high last night. I thought we would have some fun, man. How
Finally.
many career highs will fall from this point forward? Let's just start with this year. We'll do both, this year and going forward. Kale, what is our first one? 56 points, which happened on October 7th. This was, of course, against the Washington Wizards. It wasn't a loss, but 56 points. I'm going to start on this one. I think that finishes as his all-time career high. I don't think he breaks it this
Really?
year. I don't think he scores more than 56 points in a game again.
Is this regular season,
Playoffs,
postseason
everything.
combined, just the whole thing?
56 is an enormous amount of points, man.
It's a lot of points.
56 is a lot of points. I don't even want to say he's going to top it because that almost means the Nuggets played an even poorer game than they did against the Wizards.
Top that.
53, his second career high, also a loss. Like, I don't know, man.
This is my theory from years ago. Just saying.
I'll say yes just because never put a ceiling on Jokic. That's all.
Okay, the law of Miroslav.
It's going to be this whole
Law of
segment.
Miroslav.
I know,
Yeah,
but
That's the whole thing. 29 rebounds. I think he'll do it.
I think he's got a 60-point game in him. How many threes did he shoot in that Wizards game when he scored 56 points? 6. He only shot 3 of 6
That's wild.
from 3. So I think he's got a little more in the tank from there. I think he's going to have a 60-point game before his career's over.
So I go under, you go over, you go over. Where are you at? Oh my God. You are definitely taking the over on all of
Yeah,
these.
don't ask Eric, actually.
I'm going over. Of course he's going to hit.
This is realistic. You really
Yes.
think he'll have more than 56 points?
Dude, we saw Jamal Murray score 55 points, and he actually left a lot of points on the table. It didn't look that crazy. Like what a game looks like where 55 points is generated. I'm serious. Like Nikola Jokic
Yeah, you
has the
just got to
ability.
play the Blazers or the Wizards.
He
Which you do. I mean, they are in
he'll
the schedule.
do-
Yeah,
He will
exactly.
do both of those things. Yes, Nikola Jokic is. There's just going to be a night where he can't miss and he needs to shoot a bunch, and it's going to be.
Like the Wizards.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Wizards game.
You know what I mean? Like he's not going to go out for it. Like again, it's my greatest dream on planet Earth that he would just score 100 points in a game, so we could get a in-color version of someone holding that stupid piece of paper.
Hopefully they make it a little darker this time, though.
It's holding up a white sheet of paper you can't read.
I
Oh,
hope he
man.
scores 101. Like just you know what I mean? Like score 101.
More
But
than Wilt.
I just I mean I really do think that that is so it's
More
just
than
well
Rado
within
Koric.
it's well within range of his ability. It just comes down to if he wants to.
Yeah. Play along with us in the chat, by the way, because I'm kind of curious the chat's temperature on this. I
is a
took the
great
under.
game. I'm loving this
I
game.
know. I took the under, but they take the over. They're more optimistic. All right, what's the next one,
Oh, is
Gail?
are we revealing each other's personality traits? Why are we wasting our time?
Rebounds, 27. Do you know who this was against, Gail?
Charlotte Hornets.
All right, well,
Hang
there
on,
you
that,
go.
it's 27?
27
So we've
rebounds.
just got to play the Southeast Division.
He's got to stay there, and you can do this, man.
I almost forgot about this one. 27?
That's a lot of
As long as the
rebounds.
South doesn't
27
succeed.
rebounds is an enormous amount. Harrison,
I'm going to say this is his career high.
27.
27 is a lot of rebounds. Like, what's his second most rebounds?
27. I
Yeah,
think he's
look
had
it
a
up
lot.
right
I think
now.
he's had a handful as well. The thing is this is where you have to have like 2 or 3 of those shot, miss, shot, miss, shot,
Yeah.
miss, shot, make, where it's like, all right, that was 4 offensive
Golly.
rebounds in a row.
Man.
What are you gonna take it under?
So okay, actually, you guys give your things.
Oh,
that
and then
I'll-
you'll give more context.
Well, I already gave mine, but yeah.
Yeah.
27.
I've got what you're looking at here, Wind, if you want to let it rip.
Oh, so 27 is his career high. The next most rebounds he's had in the game is 22,
So 27's a big outlier.
That is a big outlier.
and he's got 22 a bunch. But
Hold up.
Wait, was that against the Jokic stopper? Was he going up against
Which
Mark
one?
It
Williams?
was
that night?
2022. I mean, the chances of Mark Williams being in the game actually are like
That's a
worse than a
valid
coin
point,
flip,
yeah.
to be honest. Hey,
it was
so
probably
he-
like Alex Len.
just a reminder, this was a 40-point, 27 rebound, 10 assist game where he shot 50.
Mark Williams was DNP.
Almost
Or
a 40, 30, 10. Jokic
I remember that,
crazy
actually.
near.
27,
This was on
10.
Nick
remember-
Richards, funny
this
enough.
is what we keep doing is he'll put up some gaudy number. We're like, oh, it could have been the next higher gaudy number. We were mad, mad that
so
night that it
true.
wasn't 30 points.
This is why he's
Last
going
night
to
it was
score
like
99 points,
Yeah.
and you're going to be so unsatisfied.
so
Yeah, I'm taking
unsatisfied.
under.
and
There's
he'll
no
like
way.
not shoot the last part. We'll be like, what?
I know, you're right. Oh,
So are we under all around 27?
under.
for
I
I
like a
don't know,
career
man.
high?
I think it's possible.
You
I
gotta
think
pick one.
Of course it's possible.
You gotta pick one.
You gotta
I pick over.
It's not
He's taking
0%.
the over on 27.
Trog saying, was that a double OT game? That would explain a lot.
All right, what else we got, Kale?
Against the Hornets, probably.
Let's just get last night real quick. Assist.
19 assists. This is what I will take the over on. I think he has a 20 assist game in him at some point.
Absolutely.
There's
yeah.
just the Nuggets will have the different iterations of their team.
I mean, you should have had it.
I just think they'll have some team that's like, oh, shooters everywhere, some point in the next 7-8 years, and he'll have night where it's like, oh yeah, everybody just made their shots, 20 assists.
Shooters everywhere. That will be in 7 years, probably. We're not close to that.
Well, he did 19 without it, so you
So
know.
far, there's 1.5. So,
I'm over, though, for sure.
Yeah,
I think he'll
definitely.
have a 20.
Yeah, he'll get a
assist game.
21.
All of the stats here, this one feels the most doable. He has 18 twice. He has 17 2
Yeah.
or 3 times. He has 19 once now.
yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. He's going to get a 20-20-20 game, hopefully, at some point. So we're all over on this one. What's the next one, Kale? blocks.
Whoa.
This one's tough.
When did he get this?
January 7th, 2024. Let me look.
I think he has 2 games
Oh,
with
so
5
last
blocks. I think he has 2 games with 5 blocks.
I think this is my Jokic bold prediction this year is that he's going to get a season high. Or
It's got to be
career high
against
in
the
blocks.
Magic.
It happened last year against the Pistons.
Those Eastern
and
Conference teams, man.
It happened in 2017 against the Thunder.
So 2 times.
By the way, that fakest win streak everyone kept talking about with Denver was just if they played in the East.
Yeah,
You know,
for
Have you
sure.
seen Detroit's win streak?
Hey man,
that
I
they're
like
coming into
Detroit.
this game
I
on?
like.
Did
You
you-
guys
yeah.
don't talk too much trash about
Did
Detroit.
you
They
see
have
the
a
win
win
streak?
streak.
Did
Yeah,
you
of
see the
course,
win
of
streak?
course, of course.
It's weaker than Denver.
Guys, most win streaks, it's like there's 2 or
That's how
3
it
good
works.
wins
Yeah,
in there,
yeah,
and then a bunch of easy
Why are you
ones.
shouting
No,
us
but
down?
the
We're just
point
saying
is-
what happened.
The point is, as always, for
Clippers are a
Harrison,
good win. That's a good
the
win.
point is, as always, for Harrison, Eastern Conference. Okay,
5 blocks though. 5 blocks, fellas.
I think he's going to do this one.
I do too. I think he'll have a game where he gets a bunch of blocks.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm going under on this
I'll go
one.
under.
5 blocks?
You,
Yeah,
has
5
5
blocks.
blocks.
He's
Well,
more-
the problem with Jokic's blocks is they might just
really-
count him as
yeah.
steals.
So
too.
true.
gonna
His
say,
block
it's
is more
way
like-
more like-
You never really know what
Also,
direction
this
it's
year
going
he's
to
got
go.
like 5 total blocks.
It's way
so-
more likely that he gets 10 steals or something.
Yeah,
Because he
I
just doesn't
think
go for blocks.
6 is just not that many.
He's just-
Sometimes he
but
gets
he
6.
just his arms do not go above his head.
Yeah, but he's got great timing. All right, what's next? So everybody's under, but me. I'm over. I'm optimistic.
I think Vogt was over too.
You're over?
Yeah, it's my bold prediction.
Is next. This happened January 12th, 2021 against the Nets, and 4 of them came against KD.
Oh wow! Look at
Oh,
that
actually, this
little
was my bold
nugget.
prediction.
I'm going to take the over on this one too. I think steals are a part of Yoke's. He's really good at it. I could see a game where he has 8, 9, dare I say 10 steals.
I can't.
8
steals?
Yes.
He gets steals, man.
Yes. Yes. A million times yes. He'll steal it up.
I go as far as to say I think he has a game this year where he gets at least 7 steals.
I'm going to bet on it.
What?
Bet 365. Never ordinary.
You're going to take the under win?
Yes.
On 7 steals?
Do you know his season high is 5?
That's close.
I mean, kind of.
Percentage wise, it's a bit of a.
That's close. 2 fewer. He gets 2 more steals. Isn't he top 5 in deflections? Like, he already gets his hand on
He's
the
already
ball.
a cookie monster. There's no arguing that fact.
I'll go over 2. Screw it.
I also wonder if in Yoke's later part of his career, right now, his offense is so supreme. I do wonder when he's like 35, 36, if he's a little bit less of the offensive fulcrum, plays a little bit more on the defensive end.
Oh,
and
dude, he's gonna have the best Twilight years ever, dude. Yokogami is gonna go off.
it's like, the
man.
first 40-year-old to have 12 steals in a game. Like, all right, cool.
He shoots it 3 times all year.
I like this one. All right, what else?
Field goal attempts is next,
Okay.
and it was the same game against
The Wizards.
39 is definitely
so
going to
many,
be his
man.
career high.
Yeah,
he will not
career
have
high.
another game where he takes 30. He
think
might
we should
score
hope.
60.
Wasn't
but
the stat in this game that like nobody had shot this much since Kobe or something? There was a not since Kobe.
he's not taking 40
Like Kobe
shots.
when his second best teammate was like Smush
Yeah.
Parker.
For the health
That
of the
year.
realm, I'm saying under. Guys.
I'm gonna say under 2.
There's no way, man.
I'm saying over because I'm just doing math here. 100 divided by 2.
Adam, by your logic, all he would need is 1 more.
yeah, it needs
It is
one more.
close.
I'm just saying, man. I don't
He
know.
took so many 2-point shots in that game.
You really think that over though? He's
God, I
not going
hope
for 100, man.
God, I hope not.
I mean, he might.
First of all, no one ever did. All right.
I think what I'm doing is called manifesting.
Okay, all right.
So he had the 39 shot attempt game against Washington. He shot 36 times against San Antonio in only 37 minutes.
He has gotten some shots up, but it's
That
such an
was one
outlier.
where he shot 10 threes, though.
I hope and also expect the Nuggets are as reliant on Jokic as they were at that point in the season when they didn't really have
Hope it
guys
never
going
happens
yet. I
again.
just hope it
I
never
hope it
happens where it's like we
literally
need him to
never
take 40
happens
shots
again.
tonight. All right, what's the next one? Let's get one more in before the break.
3. This happened October 26th, 2024.
I'm gonna take over on
Me
this
too.
one.
I'm
I
taking
actually
over.
think that there is a game where he's just on fire from 3 and it goes
should.
like 8 of 12 or 8
We know
of
he'll
11.
shoot
I'll go over
14.
2.
Yeah, like definitely.
I
I'll
also
go
think
over 2.
And also, this is the first year he's like confident in his shot. This might be the new Yoke.
Yeah.
This was a loss to the Clippers earlier this year.
Was that the second game of the season?
No, it was October, so maybe.
Yeah,
I also
maybe.
think Yoke has a tiny bit of Larry Bird. Like he's not going to shoot left-handed a whole game, but I do think one night he might be like 23s.
Yeah.
Well, do I have time to give this take right now?
Stay tuned.
Okay. Okay.
What a tease!
Whoa, dude, who would go anywhere?
Yeah,
All right, let me put a pin in it.
Oh man, what time is it, boys?
Miller time.
It is Miller time. Sun is out, sun is shining, and it's still February. But if you want to lie to yourself, crack open an ice
No,
cold
it's
Miller.
not out that strongly. We are already lying to
No,
yourself.
it's like 66, 7 degrees.
No, you're lying to yourself.
Just in general. He's saying just
Oh.
you're generally lying to yourself.
Yeah, no doubt about that. My favorite way to lie to myself is to drink a Miller Lite and tell myself how dope I am.
No,
Second
that's
part,
the only time you're telling the truth.
yeah, second part is a lie, but the Miller Lite being dope, that's on point. It's the best light beer. And why is it the best light beer? Because it's the first light beer. The original light beer since 1975. The taste you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. Just a great beer for the people who like beer. And again, this is a light beer. And when I was a kid, I would think, why would you ever drink a light beer?
Always sounds good.
I'm on the wrong side of 30, and I strongly condone drinking light beers. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. 12
And
ounces.
you know what the best light beer, the best Miller Lite is? You're thirsty. Miller
Yeah,
Lite.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
When you're
it does quench your thirst.
Oh my God.
I'd say fishing.
Red Hawk Roofing.
Speaking of fishing with beer.
Whoa. You owe each other a Miller Lite.
You've probably
Cool.
seen them on the Nuggets broadcast. Shout out to them for that. You've probably seen them at our bar. They're everywhere in Denver.
Shouts to us.
Go with the pros and make checking your roof a part of your spring cleaning routine and catch any issues or repairs before they get out of hand. There's no project too small for our guys at Red Hawk. They're your go-to for everything from minor repairs to full roof replacements on your home or business. These guys do it all. So they have quality materials, decades of experience, the quickest response time. They're Colorado's best estimators and contractors. You also probably build long-lasting relationships with these guys too. If they work on your roof,
Bro.
They're your guys.
they're not just roofers.
They're your guys,
They're going to
man.
be your guys.
Bring them into your home. Feed
These
them
are the
dinner.
ultimate homies, man.
If you ever wanted to get hugged by a man covered in sawdust,
You can do that with Red Hawk Roofing.
Brad will hug you. Ask for Brad.
RedHawkRoofing.com, 720-771-8921.
All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast. Right before break, Harrison Wind wanted to share
yeah.
something.
still.
Here it is.
Take that pin out.
Here it is.
We're
So, Yoke's been taking a lot of heaves lately, and this kind of goes into the, career high we were just talking about, 3-pointers attempted. I think he's now taking these heaves like on purpose, like he's kind of seeking them out.
Yeah.
If he's on the floor
He loves them.
at the end of the first quarter or third quarter, he's going to
Usually
try to
is.
shoot the heave. And my read on it is that he's a little like he's becoming just over some of the current state of the NBA in terms of like guys not shooting heaves.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff, he had those comments about, oh, in my country, you get less money if you played bad.
Yeah.
Oh, anybody can get traded. I feel like he's just kind of over some of the BS of this current NBA.
Oh my God.
And I think he's kind of looking to take these heaves to show some people up
Dude,
I think
that don't want to take them.
I think if he leads the league in heaves, the next time he goes for that BS white whale shooting foul, and
Oh, I love that. I actually love this conspiracy.
And you're a
theory.
referee?
It's the long game. He's like,
Hang
no,
on.
this is what I do. I
he's
heave it."
literally the most likely guy to
Or-
just take a real shot from here.
He's like,
in
I
the
make
league.
these all the time. I make them all the time.
Yeah.
dude, get yourself.
I don't think he's still ever going to get that, though.
I love this one,
It's
though.
real easy to poke
You know
holes
what?
in if you think about it for
Yeah.
more than 2 seconds. So don't.
You know what, though?
Don't.
I'm going to start banging this drum. I'm going to say, hey, this is what the guy does. He shoots heaves.
Wow.
He's the heave.
Don't foul him on a
Meister.
heave. Side out of bounds. What are we doing?
That's incredible. Yours is like he's sneaky. I'm kind of with Harrison. You need to
It's
get.
definitely Harrison.
You gotta get you a super. You
Full
gotta.
of it.
Yeah.
But it was a great made up.
I know, but it's like if you haven't done it in your life, you have to get you a superstar whose play on the court is not only embodying morality,
Yeah.
but also a referendum on all things around him. He's not just hooping out there; he's making a political statement
I
against
love
the
it.
NBA
Yeah.
through simple actions. Everybody else, he's playing on another level where he's like, if I shoot this, it sends the wrong message. If I don't win in the right way,
Yeah,
it is.
I love it, man, and it's the same with all of his soundboard doubles. As much as we hate them, we also kind of like them because it is a thing where it's like, all
he
right,
teaches us to take what comes and not be greedy.
That said, that was egregious from Mike last night. That was so
if you
bad.
turn up the volume, you hear Yoke say, "Mike, go and get this one."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you get
At
this.
the end of the
board.
season, if he has
Mike's like, ah,
20 heaves and the next guy has 10, that's a statement.
yeah. I mean, well, it's going to be.
But
That would be the craziest impact
I
he
think
could
he
have
just
on the
like-
league is if everyone starts heaving it and
I
it's
think
like
he just
Jokic
likes
brought
it.
it back.
Yeah, I think he just
I
likes
think he
it.
does too. I think that's actually
No,
the real thing.
it's becoming a game.
It's a bit where he's like bored and he's like, all right,
Yeah,
every game I get
100%.
to throw one-handed crazy shot.
It's doing performance art.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
large stage. You're just not seeing it. Take a step back.
It's like
Everyone
at the
in-
end of practice when he used to shoot half quarters. And I think NBA teams still do this, but now he gets to do it in a game.
Yeah, he gets to do it for fun. Man.
everyone in the arena too. We all lie to ourselves. We all stand up now. Oh, it's like
I know.
it hasn't been close.
Yeah.
No, this last one was close.
was,
I think
it
it was
was.
actually late though.
Oh,
I don't think
he,
it would have
like,
counted it. But he actually got
whipped it.
about, I don't know, this far from
I
it.
do love how everybody just thinks they're always going in now.
Yeah.
That's just, you know what though? No, you don't actually think they're going in. You're thinking, man, it'd be pretty cool if it went in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like playing
But
a
I
lotto.
am
You're like, all
kind of
right.
with Vogt. There's been some at the arena where the crowd reacts like it was almost in,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even close.
That's because if you don't have the right angle on it, if you're like looking
Yeah.
I
at
know,
it,
but it's also because he hit that one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
He hit the
saying.
one.
all you do know the record is 2 heaves made. So Yoke right now is
He's
halfway
gunning for
there.
the record. Let's do that next.
I would
Career high
love for him
heaves.
to
Yeah, it would have to
the next one we have is actually free throw attempts. He has 18 free throw attempts, which he did. Go
They're
ahead.
actually combined because they're the same game.
Well, you were. I had a reveal for that, but yes, okay. Free throw attempts. He took 18 in a game. He
Was
did
this
make
the
all
Warriors
18.
game?
Yeah, it was Christmas.
Oh, on Christmas, no less.
Wait, this was the Steve Kerr game?
Yep.
Okay.
So 18 free throw attempts. Will he ever surpass that?
Yeah, I'll say so. I think so.
There's no commentary on it. Just-
I mean, I could just see it as his game grows a little older, I'd say. And I mean, he
free
does.
throw merchant.
He's never going to be a foul merchant. He would never do that. How could he? But he is drawing more shooting fouls and free throws now than he ever has. And I think that will continue to go up.
Yeah.
You're gonna say yeah.
I mean,
We won't
he
love
just,
that
he'll never
game.
get the calls. He just don't get the calls.
Well, he did that one time, and then Steve Kerr.
I know.
You're right. That was the Steve Kerr game.
There's
tragedy.
There's nothing worse.
Tragedy.
Jokic is-
The one time he ever got fouled.
Jokic
and it was
is
never
like-
happening again.
Always the face,
fall
like
guy.
he's never the face of the NBA. Always the face of load management, fake stat padding.
Yoke getting
Race
the
wars
load
he wanted nothing
management
to do
treatment
with.
that one time is by far the most ridiculous thing that's ever been that happened. I'm going to take the over 2 though. I
Richard
think he has a game where he just
Jefferson
gets 20, 22 free throws. I mean, how could he not?
because he doesn't get calls, and that's
but
largely subjective.
You know what though? After the second championship, the fourth
Okay.
MVP, it's like, all right, we got to start giving this guy
Well,
calls.
you would think.
And then of course made 18. I think attempted for sure. Made how many? If you told me he took 22 free throws, I'd be like, okay, so he probably made 16.
As
of
long
them.
as they're not in the clutch.
18 made is actually harder. Is pretty hard. And this
Yeah.
is the last one and the most fun one, you guys.
Woo, you keep it
Well,
waiting.
it's kind of a weird though.
Okay.
Game score 48.7. This
Whoa.
game against the Pelicans, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks, 16 of 22 from the field, missed 6 shots en route to 46 points. That stat line right now, his best game score because of the steals, the blocks, the efficiency, and the volume.
For a
Will
second,
he have a game better than that?
for a second, I thought we were reading a super chat from Super Dope Hip Hop. Just trying to figure this out.
Carry the 4.
Lower.
You're going to say no, he will not
Because
have?
he's had some just ridiculous games, like that Wizards game, and you're like, how is that not a higher game score?
Yeah.
Scored 56 points on ridiculous shooting. If he can't get it then, it's tough to see him topping that.
Yeah, I also don't really know how game score works. I mean, did they?
No one does.
Did they weight the fourth quarter and overtime heavier? Because he, I
mean,
feel
that
like
Wizards
he's.
game was only his 5th best game score.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
You don't get a point per point scored. I know that.
Efficiency is really big in it.
Yeah. So you got to have like a
shooting percentage.
45 point game
Yeah.
on efficiency, but then it's the steals and the blocks that it's like that was 7 stocks
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
How much do you want to bet that it's literally just a fantasy basketball score?
Kind of what it is. I mean, there is. You can read the formula. It's just like It's not my favorite metric because a lot of my favorite games, this game score is lower than.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy sports score. Lower, higher. Who cares?
I'll say lower.
Well, I think it's interesting. I'm gonna say higher. Yoke's amazing, man, and I just think there might be a game where the things fall for him, and it's like, man, Yoke just had the first ever 50-point game with no misses. It's like, well, his game score was 1,000.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I think we'll have Yoke on this one for sure.
I mean, a 20-20-20 game, that would probably do it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a 2020.
It could happen. Maybe. Let's go to our checklist now because the Nuggets, are in remind 'em season, and now that we have a loss under our belt, it's time to look
We've
at.
been reminded.
We've been reminded.
Wait, that's not what we meant.
I made a list of 10 things that I think the Nuggets need to check off their checklist over this stretch here, and I want you guys to rank them where they belong in this hierarchy. The first one,
ranking.
I think they have to learn how to handle toughness or physicality, I should say.
Oh.
I think this is a thing. Like, they beat the Pacers. The one thing the Pacers don't do is get into you defensively, physically. They need to beat teams, not a game. They need to get wins under their belt where it was like that was a physical matchup and they won it.
Yes, they do. And I noticed it's already put at 1. Is that how this works? Or
No, he'll move them around. It's number
okay.
1 right now.
I mean, I think it's probably going to end up there.
It might.
That is truly at this moment, their Achilles heel. And it's the type of thing that it is very much exasperated by different levels of intensity. Like if you're tough and intense and you're coming at somebody that's like kind of coasting in and looking to coast by, like you can really eat their lunch. And the obviously the Nuggets fell to a much more physical team in the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they just saw the Lakers have great success against them by just straight up being physical. So yes, that was pretty much the thing that they were looking for this entire season, I feel like.
I would agree. I think it's an important one and one that I'm not of all the things. Like, am I confident they're going to have a win or multiple wins here in the next 10 games where you're like, man, they just out-toughed them? That's the thing I'm not confident at right now, but I want to be. I just haven't seen any signs of it.
That's what Bruce Brown brought, frankly.
Yeah. And AG is getting more physical. I do think there's, this or that. Russ is going to help bring some of this. They need it. The next one I have for you guys is to play defense. Over the last 11 games, they're 10-1. 11th best defense. Still not even in the top 10 defensively despite this win streak. Like, you want to go into the playoffs believing that they can play defense.
Yeah.
I think they need to play some defense here. I think this one's going to be high too.
They definitely need to. I don't know if I see it happening, though.
Man, are we down on our team right now?
Dang,
I mean,
dude.
defense. Like,
we gotta
a little bit.
Is M now Harrison? Do we need to remind him
All right.
what the Nuggets do?
I'm just
clutch
down
time
on the
defense.
Counterpoint here. Zeke Naji has entered the rotation, playing some very good defense.
Hasn't helped.
We're so in.
It has helped, I think, because it's another
joking,
body.
yeah.
And then, Peyton Watson can come back. It's another defensive player. If how it plays out, how I think it might, and Julian is removed from the rotation and Zeke and Peywa enter the rotation, it's like, hey, that shouldn't make your defense worse.
Yeah, for me, this is number 1. I'm not going to rule out their most encouraging stretch yet. Like how locked down it looks. Like, are we looking at the number 3 best defense in the league over any kind of stretch?
I think you win a couple games because your defense. Offense was rough tonight. But
Right.
you know what? They
I
still
think it's
beat a
you
good
win
team.
a couple big games.
Yeah, big games.
Boston.
Yeah.
And
Boston, yeah. Okay, sure.
and hold them to 110?
Yeah.
And there's just some real lockdown cores of defense.
Yeah.
You beat Oklahoma City and just stifle them and really shut down SGA. Like, those are the moments that I think you'd look at and say, all right, if Nuggets play defense there, you feel a little more confident about them heading into the playoffs. I think we're kind of past the point of them, like, stringing together a month or two of top 10 or top 5 defense or something.
Maybe
it happens. I don't think it will. I do think there's a chance we do see it in a game here, a game there against a good team, and that would be a big sign to me.
I'd settle for clutch time. If they're an elite clutch defensive team for the rest of the season, because for Denver, I just feel like there's large enough sample size of like the clutch number stuff seem to matter a lot for them. And if they can get it, high enough in that category, that could instill some belief.
Yeah, it's like they're the ultimate like don't do it till they have to team. They're just like your kid or something. It's like they're not going to clean their room until they gotta.
Well, it's time to clean your room.
Well, I don't want.
Is this more ahead or below handling physicality?
It's ahead for me personally.
I think
I
it
think
might
it's
be
below.
too because it's almost more broad, but they're kind of together. They're kind of the same
a little bit
thing.
ahead.
Where
I'd
do you
probably
go?
put it ahead of physicality.
So
just
3
slightly.
people ahead.
To me, it's the reason that they lost last year wasn't because of defense. It was because of not handling toughness.
Ooh, that's a great point.
Like that's what to me is like
You've
was
flipped me. I'm on your side now.
yeah. Screw you, Vote.
All
Yeah,
right.
but this team,
Who's breaking
this team's not as good defensively.
Adam,
Hang on, let me guess.
who's ever in the most highest leverage meeting in this company at any point.
Sorry, so me or
Number one coming up, limiting turnovers. We just talked about the little turnover bug here. I think this is an important one. I'd love to see Russ reintegrate in a way that there's no turnovers,
Yeah, this will end up going lower for me, but yes, it's annoying currently.
Is it a big deal?
Yeah. It is a big deal because if the Nuggets cut down on their turnovers, they're such a good half-court offense and full-court offense that like they should outscore most teams.
Yeah.
And the really one of the only ways they don't, and then it hurts their defense, is with turnovers.
I agree, but it probably will be down the list. Here's the next one I have for you. 2-man game chemistry. This is, of course, peanut butter and jelly. Murray's been playing very well. Yoke's been playing well all season, but the 2-man game hasn't. I want to see a solid string of games where it's the 2-man game.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Pick and roll. It's just they're carving them up in that 2-man game.
I actually am going to zag. This is going to be in my bottom 3. We'll see how it shakes out, but so to speak, I'm just buying it. In that
You already
stretch, I think
believe it.
in the last 2 months, to me, it's back to with Jokic and Murray run a pick and roll. Good luck. So, they're not necessarily spamming it as much as they were last year, which I think is good.
Yeah, it might be good.
But if I could pick anything about the Denver Nuggets besides just Jokic's production to be there in the playoffs, like I'm most confident in this, it would be the 2-man.
Yeah,
But with these high leverage games, you have to assume there's going to be some clutch time, and to me, that's what would make me feel bad. Like if you told me they beat Boston, you could pick how it happens. I'd be like, close game, you get to the clutch, and they just can't stop Murray and Yoke.
So wait, what are we figuring out again? It's about this time in every game when I'm like, I don't know exactly what we're determining. Are we saying that we?
What's the most important?
No,
Not a lot of
thank you,
rules.
yeah,
Not a lot of
is
rules
that the
to
numbers
this
are?
one.
We're ordering them.
The most
So are we saying
important thing
the
to
thing
figure
that we
out.
think is most lacking that we need to
Most
that we need to see
important
more
that you
of?
would most like
that we
yeah.
like we are creating a recipe and these things must be part of it for a well,
Yeah,
why
so
is
the
this a-
number that's next to them is sort of
2-man game seasonal?
what he's saying is
You wanna check off these things.
Brendan says it's low because he already thinks it's happening, which
Correct.
means it's not. We're saying like
Yeah, 1
if you're
through
putting
10.
it higher on the list, you're saying we need to see it because we haven't been.
Correct.
yeah.
Right, so that's different than just saying
So
like
it's lower on your list
because
'cause you
the
think you
2-man
do
game
see
is
it.
important. Like if
I
they
see
don't
what you're
play,
saying. I see
yeah,
what
because I'm smart and you're dumb. The if you put
All right,
the
you know
2-man
what?
game
Actually,
up,
you're saying something stupid, but go
the
ahead.
2-man game is the single most important thing that the Nuggets have because it's the most unstoppable play. But it is the thing that is the most proven, and we don't need to see it because we know that it's there.
I think I want to see it this year. Like
So do you understand why that? Can you guys
if you
get
can
why
weigh those
it can be at the
things,
top or
if
the
you
bottom?
can weigh them a little bit, but he believes that it's already here.
But
I
so,
believe.
yeah, so if that-
I
in that
believe
case-
that I just would like to see it over this next group in big moments. But I also agree that it's probably lower because I feel confident it'll be there one way or another.
Chat says it's a main course.
Yeah, it's definitely not seasonal. Main course.
Next one, Zeke Naji consistency. We've actually had this for 11 games. He's been consistent.
I was going to say if this isn't at 5, I'm going to be angry. It is.
But here's the thing. There's a 10-game consistency, and then there is a 30-game consistency. People keep asking, is he a playoff rotation player? You get another 10 games of this, I'm like, he's a lock. Because he's adding something right now that the Nuggets need. And so for me,
I don't think anything he's doing isn't repeatable either.
Yeah.
correct, right.
That's what you love to see is a guy getting in and playing well, and it's not like, well, he's hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like it's not like, well, he's finally making threes,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, I know that's going to stop at some point.
Yeah.
What he's doing is just like, wow, this guy has like really been working hard.
He's
like
super athletic.
he seems quicker, perhaps. Like he just seems like he's learned in his time away from playing time, which is amazing. Like because you hear stories about guys that don't get playing time and they sort of hang their heads, and then you hear on podcasts,
Well,
that,
he's
like,
guarding
nobody-
Ryan Saunders
Yeah.
in 3-on-3. That's the only workouts he gets.
And yeah, and you hear guys that are
Ryan
like,
Bowen's out there, and he's like, I'm shutting him down.
it's like obvious that guys don't love basketball that are in the NBA, and like Zeke Naji is showing that he really cherishes basketball and he's willing to work for it. So I think it's
I'm going to put Zeke consistency above limiting turnovers in two-man game because
Whoa.
I actually think right now one of my big concerns is
Dang.
I'm worried the Nuggets don't have a playoff rotation. I'm worried they don't have enough guys. He represents the going into a playoffs and be like, you know what? There's 8 real guys.
Man, what a development.
I'm saying
Victory!
that I'm not saying it will happen.
No, but like if
Victory!
if at the deadline they added a guy who's
Yes.
a big body and a somewhat versatile
So true.
defender, and you said, would you take that guy in the rotation? right
Dude,
now?
if PJ Tucker was traded for and came over here and was a plus 50 since he got traded, and we're all like, man, now we have a real guy that can guard, you would be like, this is great.
I know you're right. I got to see him.
It's like, what if we could trade for Chris Boucher? Oh, we
Well,
just have a better
we have
version.
Chris Boucher at home.
Even silly things like this, like Nas Reed, that's a matchup you could potentially get.
Yes.
Right now, you're like, I just don't know how they match up. You're like, oh no, Zeke guards
Yes.
Nas Reed.
And,
Good.
And Peyton Watson guards Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like they have guys that make sense to guard other guys. I agree. Aaron Gordon guards Ant. Like I can't believe we're gonna win.
So to me, I would move it above those. Any objection that I actually think this is a thing? If we check this off in a few weeks, it'll feel more valuable.
Hell yeah.
Comfortable with this 5 halfway through.
All right.
We don't know. I
We
have to
don't
see
know.
the other
We have
ones.
to see.
Yeah. So,
But with these 5,
so
yes.
far, sure, Kale. Thank you.
The next one, Russ reintegration.
Whoa.
I think this one's a pretty important one because he has been a little reckless, and they're still trying to figure out exactly. Like he was playing better before the injury than he is right now.
Keeps killing all that livestock.
What?
I had the wolf reintegration.
Oh, gotcha. There you go.
Man.
Yeah. So what do we think?
yeah, because I don't really think
Depredation.
the
yeah.
thing about Russ is that it wasn't just this sort of wild card
Repopulation.
factor that kept landing in their favor. It was a way that he had sort of just worked his way into what they were doing, especially in lieu of Murray or whoever else. And so I don't think you want to go into the postseason going, yeah, maybe he'll play well, maybe he won't. Who knows what it looks like?
Yeah.
You want to feel like you have an understanding of where he is in the rotation and why.
and what he brings.
And
Like
what
you're
he-
in
and
there,
what he's
we're doing
gonna-
this.
and what he's going to bring, and the spacing stuff. Which Russ has had a great season, man. There's no, you don't have to throw any asterisks on it, but that is one of the concerns going back to preseason, and we saw it manifest in the Lakers game. So, just some questions still to answer. You want to make sure he's part of the mix.
I would have this above the Zeke one because I just think he's a more impactful player in both good and bad ways.
Yeah.
So getting Russ to the A version of what he can bring to this team to
Dude,
me
it's-
is really, really high up there. Probably right behind defense and toughness.
I mean, yeah, if they can have, the Russell Westbrook that we saw
At his
Brody
peak
and-
this year. Yeah.
Brody and
at
Brate
his
level.
peak,
Brody and Brate.
Brate mode with Jokic, I mean, you could argue that's top 3 on this list.
Yeah, I think that's where we're putting it. All right, what about P-Watt reintegration?
Oh man,
Dang.
they need this one.
I
dude.
think this one is also above Zeke just
Man,
because
all
I
these are
think
so important.
P-Watt, it's pretty
Is
important.
it seasonal?
question
You,
of the-
you think he's above Zeke?
I
Yeah.
do because I think
do
that
too.
he represents another. Like Zeke is doing a good job of this. Or that. P-Watt can erase points, man. Like
you need P-Watt. Zeke would be nice. You need P-Watt.
I think
All
you
right,
need, but more, I definitely think you need both.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would like for everyone.
8
But-
real guys is Russ, P-Watt, and Zeke to me right now more than anyone else.
Cool. Let me ask you guys a question.
I agree.
You've reached the Western Conference Finals. It's game 1. Not just you have the starting lineup, but just across the course of the game, who's your best option for primary defender on SGA?
Oh, P-Watt, P-Watt. You
Right?
need- and that's one of the guys you're gonna have to go through.
You need Peyton Watson.
Yep.
Yep. Zeke has been solid, but Peyton Watson's defensive ceiling is so much higher.
What if it's Zeke?
And and just the game changing plays he can make on defense are just so valuable that he's got to be above him.
Yeah, interesting.
Above or below Russ?
I'd say below Russ.
Yeah.
Russ's negative impact is so big when it's bad, and his positive impact is so high when it's high that the swing there to me is bigger. So I think Russ is probably
I
higher
still
than me.
don't understand this game because two-man game chemistry is, again, the most important thing.
But you feel good about where it's at.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you feel like the Nuggets have checked it off?
Yeah, it's already half checked, so it's
Half in the bag.
it's like what's a bigger emergency? You have to do your laundry, or you have to do this. You're like,
Right.
well, I don't have much laundry.
Sure.
Usually
sure.
number
But if,
one
if
on my
I had
checklist.
no laundry, it would be a big
Sure.
deal. But I have most of my laundry clean. MPJ consistency.
Whoa.
He's struggling right now. When he's playing well, the Nuggets look another level.
these are
How
tough.
important is this?
Very important. Where does it slot in here?
The Nuggets can win. Like the Nuggets won the finals with MPJ not making shots.
True.
I know he did other things. Like the Nuggets have done things where MPJ was awesome and when MPJ was not. So it almost feels like they know how to handle his up and down.
This year, I think they have less spacing, fewer shooters, and teams are gonna like if you're in that Lakers series, who's one guy you're not completely abandoning and leaving, or if you do, has to make that shot from a Nuggets perspective. Like I really like that Porter, ended up having a nice night in the end last night, but he's got to get back to that let it fly mindset. Just shoot threes. Like you have to shoot threes, man.
Yeah.
And because no one else on this team does.
I let you nominate where you think this goes.
I'm gonna say, bless you, bless you. I'm gonna say, with the list we have now, I would put it above limit turnovers. I would put it above Zeke. I would put it below P. Watt, above Zeke.
Man,
I don't mind that.
Is that crazy?
No.
yeah, Zeke just seems so important to me right now in a way. But you're right; it feels too recency bias to make Zeke more important than that. So
Yeah.
I think that
like
one's
is
fair.
Zeke more important than MPJ?
Only 10 more left. The next one, Aaron Gordon.
10 more?
2 more. Aaron Gordon consistency. He's starting to do this.
Yeah,
He's
I
actually
feel like
starting to
we've
be more.
kind of got this right now.
Not really though. It's only been like 3 games. It's not as long as we think. But Aaron
yeah.
Gordon, just like, all right, one, defensively, we want to see him making the impact
Mostly
at his spot. And then bullying people. Just he did it last game. He had one, it was Siakam, a big guy. He had an embarrassing seal of him in transition where he literally buried him out of bounds and then just grabs the ball and goes up. Like, I want that AG back every single night.
Yeah, I'd put this right above
Actually,
maybe MPJ consistency.
I think it's above AG too because I just think that when he's great, the ceiling's a little bit higher than when MPJ.
I just realized
or
that if-
consistent, I should say, not great. When MPJ's great, I think it's higher.
I just realized if we put something at 1, kill us to move every other
Yeah.
one.
So you kind of want to do it?
Number 1.
I think ahead of MPJ. And here's the last one, you guys. The last one.
Kale's having less fun with this.
I think that there are these guys that I think at this moment, they're starting 5, Russell Westbrook. I think Peyton Watson is back in this because I just think he's needed. Zeke Naji right now is in the real guys category. And DeAndre Jordan is a rotation piece, whatever you think of him. It's like he's the backup center. There's no competition there. I think they need a 10th guy for the regular season rotation that they can go out to. Maybe it's not every night, but somebody they go to. And right now there's Julian, Pickett, Flacco, Hunter. I think they have, well, I mean, in theory, right? I mean, he might come back. I think they need to figure out who this guy is. I have a feeling they're just going to roll out Julian. I don't know if that's the right thing. And over this next stretch of tough games, I kind of would not mind them experimenting with other people in that spot.
Whoa. And open the relationship.
and namely Pickett, and I think it's a very worthwhile conversation on shows like this one.
I think that they are kind of doing this. And I also kind of think that the 10th man is a Voltron combination of all 4 of those guys. Like,
Just stay ready. You don't know
like
which
yeah,
night
like
it'll be.
tonight, Julian, you suck. Get out, beat it.
Yeah.
Like we get in there. Like I don't know that it's like. I think it really just this is depth. It's just like saying like.
Well, here's one thing I've been thinking about. DeAndre's the center. Zeke's the backup 4. P. Watt the backup 3. So you either just run with a 1 starter stagger and then it's Russ, right? And then maybe is it Jamal or CB or something. Or you try to roll out with Pickett in that spot. And I go, Russ, Pickett, P. Watt, Zeke, DeAndre. Not the worst.
Pickett can shoot. He can shoot.
Zeke, in theory, maybe. Like, it's not the best lineup. If you swap Russ for Jamal, now I'm really starting to like it. Now you have Jamal, Pickett, maybe Zeke. Like, there might be something there. So I would love for them, but I do think it's a very low priority. That's probably number 10.
Keep it at the 10.
Yeah, keep it at the 10.
I'd say
All right,
so.
there we go. So we have play defense and handle toughness is the most important thing. Handle physicality. Change that to handle physicality if you
lot of
can. just so we
reintegration.
understand. A lot of reintegration.
A lot
That's
of
got to
consistency.
important.
Reintegration.
There it is. We solved it. This is what's important for the Nuggets going on. We're cutting out around the association because we only have a minute left. Do we have any super chats?
We got
Kale?
to talk about that one game though. Holy smokes!
You want to go to overtime?
Yeah, I know. Who do we care? Where are we going?
We're going to overtime.
Overtime.
Catch the rest of this online if you're watching this on our fast channels. Which,
Yeah,
by the way,
fuck yeah.
our fast channels, you get
Let's
them
fucking
Samsung
go.
TV, Roku.
Actually, we're not.
Yeah, 50
half an
seconds
hour
left.
yet.
Kale has to write a report.
Well,
Good
no,
job.
it's once you hit that transition, it ends.
earmuffs, everyone.
That's why, and then the overtime comes up, and that's how we know
Overtime.
it's swears time.
After
Cost
dark.
as much as you want.
So let's get into it. Tonight, Luka Doncic faces his old team in his new house.
Looks great, Kel.
By the way, have you guys seen Luka Doncic? I swear he's lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Since he left the Mavs. They called him a fatso, and he went there immediately and was doing the Rocky workout.
The
Lifting
photographers
bills
in
ahead.
LA are just built different.
I don't know. I think he honestly, you have to think a thing like this humbles a person, you know? Like somebody's like, oh, we got you.
Thanks, Dallas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know.
But what do you think he does tonight? Because they play in Dallas, and I feel like that's the real one.
Yeah.
But Nico Harrison will be in the building tonight. This is the old team. Luka's an FU kind of player, full of a not.
Rob Pelinka will somehow find his way into the building also.
Oh, they're going to cut to him
Somehow.
so many times.
Like he was just there for the Iguodala retirement. That was pretty funny.
yeah, I mean, listen, like I know that our brethren at DLLS are doing a watch along for this.
Oh, man.
That seems like the worst idea that they
Dude,
could
that's
do.
an insane
They're
choice.
just crying the
God
whole time.
bless.
That's
God
gonna suck
bless.
so bad.
Those guys are so nice, too.
It's insane.
We
I
have
actually
our,
probably would
we have
cry.
our enemy markets that we just want to battle
Oh,
with all
on
the time.
that note, our first watch along of the year is coming up on Sunday.
Hey,
Against Celtics.
Let's
Ooh,
go.
man.
We're gonna
Yeah.
start doing these. Yeah.
Can't wait till we open that
But
market.
look at
Dude,
Doncic
I mean-
tonight. Look at how does this game
I
go?
bet that
He's
one
gonna-
was
But I
scheduled for
also
Vogt.
here's one thing I've heard rumblings of. I'm not reporting. I just talk to people in different markets. I think that there's some players on the team that maybe weren't demanding Luka trade. That maybe were kind of like, yeah, this makes sense to me.
Sure.
This makes sense. So I almost wonder if there's a little like the Dallas guys are looking at this game going like, we got to show him.
They definitely are, but they don't have the personnel.
Yeah.
They want. I mean, like they want to beat them. The one thing
Max
is
Christie
that
revenge game.
the thing. I mean, the worst part about this for the Mavericks is that they don't have even close to the team that they attempted to assemble and did assemble. And you can
For
actually
one glorious half.
You can look to that to say that that's another reason why it was foolish because
Yeah.
you get players that are constantly hurt, but also they've been hit with an injury bug
Right.
that is just insane. Like, so I think by all rights, they should be in a position where they would go out and smack the Lakers. Whether or not they beat, I mean, like, I don't know, who knows, but like Luka's going to go insane, or at least he's going to be pressing. He's going to want to go insane. He's going to get a lot of shots up. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. What do you think, Wind?
I mean, I think the one in Dallas is the more exciting one for sure.
But this is big too. First time playing him.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think Luka has a lot of Jokic in him. I think he's got a lot of just the killer mindset. I think he'll be out for blood. I do.
For sure.
I think it's like a 40-point game minimum.
I also think too, I could very easily like they have really worked on their execution and their schemes and what do we want to be an identity. And I could see this one where JJ just in the pregame says, "Hey guys,
Get it.
tonight give Luka the fucking ball."
And
Yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah,
I've noticed
yeah.
that LeBron has been very like pointed in calling out the Mavs for this trade.
He's like, what a dumb trade.
because
That's pretty much what he's saying. Yeah. So I also think LeBron will be like,
It's like Anthony Davis sucks. Are you kidding me?
"All right, Luka, like have at it."
Yeah, this is your night. This
Yeah.
is your night, and we know it.
I am on record. I always say there's these players like, I mean, Kobe's 60-point game on his way out the door. There's some players that I just feel like always do it in these moments that don't mean anything but mean something
Yeah,
symbolically.
yeah.
They always do it. And I think Luka's one of them. I think Luka is like, I'd be shocked if he had a
definitely.
bad game tonight. I just
Right.
think
And
he-
you know the Lakers are going to be feeding him.
and that crowd's going to be going nuts. It's going
Oh,
to
I
be
hate
intense.
this. How are they going to do a watch along? Who
JJ
scheduled
Redick,
that,
I
dude?
heard, stayed up all night last night,
He hasn't
just
slept in 2
diagramming
days.
plays for Luka. He
Wait.
couldn't sleep.
Did he have a solve for Kyrie? They might have
God.
Kyrie
Rubik's
solved.
Cube.
Will be a big
Let's
one.
super chat
We'll
it, fine.
find it out.
Mr. Exquisite Nugget. No Adam, no Eric, no Windy, babe. Great hair vote. You guys don't know how good I have it in these Cedric Super Chats, man. Jokic is about to have a quadruple double. Bet on it. Also, if we beat OKC, who do you think we face in the finals?
Dude, the questions are so like.
I'd say
know what I mean?
Boston.
I'd say Boston too.
Yeah, I'll
Boston
say
Good luck,
too?
Vogt. Good
I
luck.
say Cleveland.
Yeah.
Vogt. We have to have
Yeah,
a
I'd say
documentary
Boston.
crew following Vogt the entire finals if that happens.
Oh my God, Cleveland, please.
It's gonna be like what's that movie with Adam Sandler? Diamonds, whatever.
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. It's gonna be like it's gonna be that style with him just on edge the whole time.
Yeah, it's him with
his
his
whole life
Yeah,
just
dude.
A styrofoam cup
Kevin
of
Garnett
shitty
coming
coffee.
at me. We're like, what? Yeah, man. Oh, man. And Cleveland's like maybe a worse matchup. So do I have to root for Boston? Cross that bridge when we don't get to it. Flo Booyah flying from Paris to Denver on
Is this
Friday.
Flo? Did he change his name to Flo?
No.
No, this is
Separate
different.
Flo
different
flying
Flo.
from Paris. All
Well,
right.
Vote for France.
Let me just tell you, it's short for Florence, and that's not that uncommon in France.
No,
thought it
I
was
know.
Florin.
But us
Wow,
having,
you're so cultured, man.
I know. I literally go to Europe all the time.
Yeah, it is
You're a
true.
man
And
of
I wear
culture.
sweatpants, so
You're-
square that.
Yeah, you're European in law. All right, here we go.
I'm Zet.
He's flying from Paris to Denver, and he's going to land just before the Pistons game. Rush to the bar to start his Nuggets pilgrimage.
Oh yeah.
Come say hey, please. Ask for us if you don't see us. Have experienced Snug Life with and thanks to you these past few years. It'll be so cool
Oh,
to
man,
finally
dude.
meet you.
I love
Let's
that.
do it, man.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Can't wait to meet you.
Paris it up out here.
DJ
Paris.
Seahawk, vote for you. Will Jokic get at least 3 chips? I'm going to go on record, guy. I think he gets at least 2 for sure. For sure, even is ridiculous. I think he'll get 2 and then 3. I don't know, man. Get out of my face. Kyle M. Hey, D-Line.
Hey, what up, Kyle M? You're the best.
Brandon DeLicio. How many minutes would P-Watt play in an Oklahoma City Thunder series?
Good question.
Good question, man.
He would be important.
That's why integration matters.
He could.
bro.
You would probably try and put him on.
Probably 25 to 30.
I mean, you would want to put him on Cody's brother. What's his name?
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams. Yeah.
J-Dub.
I think P-Watt is so important to this team, and there's not a long runway for him to really fully integrate. But Zeke Najee's done it in 11 games, so you know.
Bro, I can't believe how in on Zeke Naji we are. It
I
is
love
wild.
it. I love
Me
it.
too, dude. This is
so
why you
in.
watch a full season. You don't just come in. You're like, oh, like now we'd be like, are the Avs winning or not? And like, to come into the Nuggets, we're like, well, Zeke Najee's back, and the crazy thing is, we all wrote him off.
Like, I missed some episodes, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on our show. We are off tomorrow,
Deep
but we
in
will be
overtime.
back on Thursday.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got a
dude.
Thursday, Friday,
Almost a
Sunday.
double overtime.
3 games in 4 nights coming up, and they're all bangers. You got Milwaukee, you got Detroit, you got Boston. So get your rest in now.
Yeah, dude, get your popcorn.
Hit that like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.